Right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. We are here talking all things corporate contracts. So, if this is your first time joining, I am so excited to be in front of you today. My name is Kirsten Allen. I work with experts, entrepreneurs, and business owners to help them get more corporate contracts now. I am the founder of this organization, the author of the book, Get Corporate Clients Now, as well as the podcast. So, wherever you type in Get Corporate Clients Now, whether you read, you listen, or you're scrolling online, you should be able to see our brand and the amazing things that we're doing as an organization. We stand in the gap between you and organizations that need you with the expert consulting, coaching, and even done for you services that we do to make sure that you are in front of your ideal corporate clients. And you'll see me talking about multiple cameras because we're over here on TikTok as well. And we're also recording this for the podcast. So everybody is getting served today. So come on in, lean on in. This is going to be a really quick topic that is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. Now, I originally was kind of looking at what I wanted to talk about today and what you all really needed to hear to move forward in the corporate contract space. And thankfully, I had a client call today. So that was my muse for today's content and for today's topic. And it's all about capability statements. So while I know the people that I serve are not new to corporate, like you've done engagements before, you recognize how powerful and impactful these opportunities are. Many of my people, you've done these things by referral. So you probably didn't have to have a capability statement or really much of anything because a client, a friend, a colleague, a business bestie referred you into the opportunity, which allows you to skip the line in some of these things. But what's important is as you're looking to recreate these opportunities, as you're looking into actually implementing a strategy, you're going to have to clean up a few things. So, yes, your name, your credibility, all of that got you forward before in the opportunities you've done in the past. But when it comes to creating a process, we have to make sure we have certain assets in place that position you as a corporate trainer and a corporate vendor, essentially. Capability statement is one of them. So, what I like to tell people, especially if they've never heard of it before, when they work with me, is that a capability statement is like a resume for your company, not for you as a speaker, not for you as a individual, for your company. And this is used in marketing conversations, but it can also be used for your website or your LinkedIn presence or other ways that you're promoting yourself as a corporate trainer. This is going to be super important to have as you are building out your assets. So, when I say assets, I want to make sure that you guys understand this as well. One of the first steps when I work with clients is getting their corporate package ready. So, getting them corporate ready, seen as someone who provides services to corporations is our step one. Capabilities statement is a part of that packet, along with, getting them set up with certifications and also becoming a vendor for their state so they can start get some opportunities coming to them and their positioning and all those things. There's a lot of key pieces that I walk people through so that they have a simplified package that they're ready to go and present to organizations. Not an offer, but their company is set up. So, with that being said, honing in on the capability statement as one of those key assets, it's really so that organizations can get a sense for a few things. And I'm actually going to pull up mine as I'm talking because as I was sharing this with the client, I was like, oh, shoot, I'd have missed a whole portion that I didn't share with her that we addressed to get hers fixed. So I want to make sure I have them all right here so I don't miss anything for y'all. So when it comes to, and you can also see my capability statement if you have my book. I've linked to it in the resources. And then if you don't have the book, you can also see it on my LinkedIn profile. So you can be able to see that. Now, it contains a couple of key sections that help, again, get into the mind of the decision maker, how they can place you, what type of services you offer, and how they can contact you. So when it comes to going to like vendor showcases or meeting people in person or going to the WeBank conference or wherever you may be going to meet decision makers, you want to have this in your back pocket as well as in your digital portfolio, whether that be your website, your LinkedIn, or whatever way you use to communicate your brand online and connect with people. So you wanted to include your core competencies. It's called a capability statement for a reason. It is showing your capabilities. So what are those topics, and not your branded frameworks or things that people won't understand? What are your simplified keywords, topics that your ideal decision maker would resonate with? This is one of the first things most people get wrong when they're going into the corporate space, and what I help them to master. One of my superpowers that I didn't even realize it just come natural to me is wordsmithing, and making sure that the wording is aligned with what a corporate person is thinking about. So sometimes I can just do it on autopilot because I know the type of things that they're looking for, but you want to make sure the language is clear. So for example, you might have some fancy framework that you use for, I'll take this client, for example. You might have a fancy framework that you use for stress and burnout. That's great. But the framework is not going to mean anything to a corporate decision maker. So when it comes to your core capabilities and your core competencies, you want to use words that they would search. So where you would be looking at your framework, you might just cut that all the way out and just say stress management in the workplace, burnout management in the workplace. Words like emotional intelligence, effective people leadership, career development coaching, financial literacy. I want to give some different examples. Financial literacy training, team and culture training. I know DEI is like the word, the kiss of death word that nobody wants to use right now, but there are companies that are still committed to DEI, and they're hiring people to support that. So anyway, this ain't a whole training on that. However, I hope you get the gist. Your core competencies should be your topics that your organizations, your decision makers would be searching for. Okay. Then you want to have a section on what type of services you offer. So maybe that's coaching, maybe that's consulting, maybe that's workshops, one-on-one training, executive coaching, all the different method or the different modalities in which you can provide your services. You don't want to have them all, but you want to have a list of the ones, again, that people would be looking for. Maybe they're looking for an executive coach for their senior leadership. Maybe they would be looking for someone to do a keynote or lunch and learns, all these different things. So it doesn't matter in terms of how you pack it, like the services offered that you'll have there. You can have many different things, right? It doesn't have to be only executive coaching, because if they hire you to do, if they want you to do a keynote, you're likely going to do the keynote too. So the key point here is just to give an overview and have those words there that would immediately resonate in the mind of your decision maker. No guesswork. The main thing that'll cost you a contract is if you make the decision maker have to guess how to place you and how to hire you. If they have to sit here and understand what your fancy words mean, you have lost the game. Stick to the words, same words. We don't have to get fancy. It's the same words over and over again. Leadership development, emotional intelligence, career development, same words. Use their language. If you don't take anything from this, that's going to be the key point. Then you want to have a little section, about you and your company. So I had this conversation with the client, and I was reading back what I gave her, and I was like, oh, this is so good. But she had positioned hers as her, the individual. So, her name, is X, Y, and Z. Same way you would do like a speaker bio, for example. So if you have a speaker one pager, yours is probably like this as well. If somebody asks you for a bio, your capability statement about section is not your individual bio. It is a description on your company. So you want to make sure that you have phrased it in a way that encapsulates the overall experience of your organization, not just you, as well as what your organization helps drive for the companies that hire you to work with you. Okay. So that's pretty straightforward. The last one that I'll talk about here today is the past performance. So what I shared with the client was, we don't want paragraphs. This is not, on a resume, you'll have your experience section with your 5 bullets and all of that. This is not that. Your past performance on your capability statement should really just be logos. It's just showing that you belong to the party. Like it's showing that, hey, she's worked with brands I recognized before. She's worked with somebody. And so we feel confident being able to hire her and bring her into this. It is not for you to go in and describe every single thing that you do. Okay. So keep that in mind. Logos, visuals. I'm just pointing to, hey, I've worked with this company. I've worked with this brand. I don't have to explain how and all of that. We have that in conversation. this is a one-pager visual that is super important for you to be able to communicate that, again, you have done this thing before. And most times people get hung up on this part. They're like, oh, well, I don't have past performance with a company, or, I've never gotten a contract before. You can get past performance, or you can reference past performance without having a true contract. Are there organizations that you have done even pro bono work for, or organizations that you've been a part of as an employee where you've done trainings like this? This past performance. It doesn't say past contracts. It's saying, when have you delivered what you're saying that you can do in a similar context? Okay. And if you don't have any, you can get some. How can you connect with your local university? How can you connect with your local library, or just different organizations that you can easily tap into quickly? Who do you know who works for an organization where you can go and do your talk or your workshop and get past performance and recommendations from that? So that's just a few different ways and how we help people kind of manage this whole past performance piece. I said that was the last piece, but then I decided to talk about one more, is your NAICS codes. So your NAICS codes are North American Industry, I forgot the S, North American Industry Commodity. Oh, sorry, I thought I had it. North American Industry Classification System is what NAICS stands for. And this is how they classify what type of services you provide in your business. Well, not just in your particular business, but all organizations, what type of services or products do they provide? NAICS is a classification system that helps organizations understand, again, where to place you. So if they have a particular opportunity, one of mine that all of my clients use, and myself, is the professional development one. So it just showcases that you offer professional development services under that code. Now, when a contract comes out, I want to tell you how this is used. When a contract comes out, typically like an RFP, or something that they're looking for multiple responses to, is where you'll see this. They'll have, okay, this opportunity is based upon this code. We're only looking for companies that provide these services. So you want to know your codes. And I have an entire training that goes through this inside of our Get Corporate Clients Now experience. So if you want to dive into that more, I'd be happy to share that with you, in addition to the overall process that it takes to get inside of these organizations. But I really dive into how you can do that. But for now, just know, if you go to the site, you can play around yourself and find your own codes. But that's going to be super important so that you can be classified under the particular services or even products that you offer as a company. And it's going to be important to have as many codes that resonate, or not resonate, as many codes that apply, because resonate is something that is totally different, that actually apply to the business that you have and the services that you offer. You want to have as many of those as possible so that you can be found. An organization might use one code or another for the same services, and if you're not classified under both, you might miss opportunities. We could probably do a whole training just on NAICS codes, but that's good enough for you guys to start to understand the capability statement. All right, so those are the main pieces. The only one I didn't share today was key differentiators, and that is basically highlighting you as an organization, what differentiates you. So for me, certified coach, our lead, I would say, our lead consultant or trainer is a certified coach under the Association for Coaching, or, some of you all may have an ICF certification, or John Maxwell. So those are good differentiators. Another one is that we really focus on data-driven activities, which is very rare in terms of like soft skills and training. It's hard to really get a lot of data. So we pride ourselves on ensuring that clients have data-driven numbers on how we are impacting how we're impacting their organization. We can't always tie to the bottom line, but we can at least be able to track how people are engaging from start to finish. Okay. All right. That's capability statements. And so if you are saying, I need to get my capability statement together, I didn't even know what it was until I joined this live, and how it's going to help me to land more corporate contracts in my business, then you're, first of all, in the right place to be. And I'd love to help you get this entire engine, your entire asset package set up so that you can go after these corporate contract opportunities with ease. All right. And so let's have a conversation about how we can work together to do that inside of the Get Corporate Clients Now experience. It is an entire experience, and there are many different flavors in which you can get involved, from done for you all the way down to done do it yourself. I was going to say done for you again, but done for you all the way to doing it yourself. So it's a place for everyone to get in to ensure you are prepared for these corporate contract opportunities. And without your capability statement, yeah, you could make it happen, but you're not going to be set up for the maximum opportunities that can be coming your way. All right. So if you are interested in that, what I want you to do is click the link in the comments or either in my bio, wherever you are watching this, to book a time to chat with me so we can see where you are, where you want to be, and how we can help you get there. Okay. All right. I will see y'all on the next one, and whether you decide to move forward with the conversation or not, think about getting your capability statement done and then getting it out there so you can position yourself for more opportunities. All right, y'all. Talk soon.